Hello and welcome to this episode about why online visibility is replacing traditional networking. I am Marie, the CEO and founder of familiarity, the number one LinkedIn marketing agency. We served over 15,000 clients and made over 1 million plus revenue. So let's take a look at this online visibility that is currently happening. I have really a lots of events planned. I'm going to the Lisbon, to the Miami exhibiting, some keynotes, some VIP things in the Emerge, in Possible, in also like Digital Marketing Europe and many other places. So it's currently really the time where I'm going to do traditional networking, but I'm going to power it up by online visibility, and I will also show you how you can leverage it for yourself too. What is the difference between traditional networking and online visibility, and how you can make it together so that it's complement and that people know you before you even enter the room, and that you can actually generate opportunities without making the cold outreach. So here is the old way, how it was done before. So in the old way, you usually meet someone, you go to the traditional networking, you met someone, and then you exchange business card. To be honest, like how many times did you follow up on that business card? Because I always put it in my purse and then actually completely forget about that person. But here is a new way how you can actually do networking and how to do the proper follow-ups and how to actually make the clients wanting your service without you needing to even follow up too much, to be honest. So let me just delete this. Here we go. So in the new way of doing networking with your online visibility, I don't need to stress out that you already should have a LinkedIn profile, right? Because you should have really professionally made LinkedIn profile. If you don't have it yet, then make it done in Canva. If it still doesn't look like according to your expectations, like it should always have the primary sentence, the call to action, etc. So you can see here example of my profile. If you don't know how to do it, if you don't want to spend time doing it, then go to mariolevy.com and we can help you with that. We can do it for you. We can do the whole revamp. We can make the headline for you, banner, professional profile picture. We can do for you like all of these things, featured sections, so that your profile is actually set for networking and people exactly get what you do. And there is big difference when you actually go to the traditional networking and people connect with you and they see your professional face of your profile. They are like, wow, okay, like you are an expert in that field and I know exactly what I should do, and I'm booking with you a call so that we can take this one-on-one. So I don't need to stress out this, right? In case, go to mariolevy.com because we got you covered. So new way of actually doing networking is that you connect with people online, then you engage with their content, and then you meet in person as familiar faces. Because always like when you are at a networking, I don't know if you also get this kind of feeling like I don't really belong here, I don't know what I'm doing here, especially if you are there alone. And this is especially like issue not only for women but also for men, that if you don't have really like a friend there or some connection, it just feels not right to be there and you need to go outside of your comfort zone to actually speak with strangers. So if you are not really familiar with networking at the beginning, it might get really uncomfortable, and this is where the online visibility can really help you a lot, because this will actually get you the familiarity so that people already saw you somewhere. It actually like happened to me once. I was on advertisement for high school when I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17, and there was like my face running in metro in the Czech Republic in Prague. And it was like, I think like for 2 months, my face was like on every metro station. And it was so interesting because people were just turning at me everywhere because it was just familiar face. They didn't probably know, they probably didn't knew that like I was on the advertisement for that specific thing, but my face became familiar. And this is also what you are doing with online visibility, that you are connecting with people and they might not really know that you are, for example, architect or CTO of the specific software company, but the brain already pick it up unconsciously that they already know you, and then it's like much easier for them to connect with you, and also for you because you already know like where they probably work, what they do, etc. from LinkedIn. It also creates authority because people might like look you up before if you connect with them, so they already might associate you with specific keywords, specific topics. It provides you trust, so much easier you get connection and the credibility, so they trust you, you are a credible person. So now let me also show you the sequence, what I do for myself when it comes to the conferences. And it separates in pre-conference, conference, and post-conference. So usually pre-conference, what we do for the conference in person, of course, is that first I look for the ideal client in the place of conference. Because if you are hyper traveling like me, for example, I'm going next month in Miami, so I want to really connect with the right people in that city. I don't look only like for people in the conference, but for the right people in the city, because I want to make connections there. I want to meet people who know people. I want to find partners. I want to create the base there, especially if it's like interesting city, like for example Miami. Then it's really important to run this cold outreach to just like connect with the right people, to connect with right opportunities. So here I am looking for the ideal client in the place of conference. So in that case, for example, in Miami, I run the sequence where actually like I am like on Sales Navigator really choosing the proper filters, like that I'm looking for founder in Miami Beach, Palm West, and like other like smaller areas around that place. And I'm looking just for founders. They don't need to post on LinkedIn because then I will like end up in their mailbox. And I'm doing a cold outreach just to see like if people will actually be interested in more networking in person with me. Then I'm always connecting with all speakers from that specific event, because it's just nice. It gives you also like a bit of credibility if you tell them like, hey, I'm also speaker, or hey, I'm exhibitor too. So just like to connect, because then there are a lots of, for example, cocktail parties after that. So you can again like connect with people online, and then when you see them in person, it works. I also do this on Instagram sometimes when, for example, I'm invited as influencer media to some conference. I'm then like following on Instagram also that specific conference if they're active, and then seeing what other creators are, for example, going to that specific event, because usually conferences are collaborating more with influencers on Instagram. LinkedIn is very rare, but then it's much easier for you to get brand opportunities, because LinkedIn is just not yet the big thing. Therefore, when you like are in like 1% of creators like me, for example, then it's much easier for you to catch these brand collaborations, and then it can also help you with your Instagram. And I write all of the speakers a message, so I connect with them and I immediately add note like, hey, I'm speaker too, happy to connect. Usually I don't really want to have like them as ideal client. I don't pitch them. I just want to have them in my network, because they usually do interesting stuff. They're interesting people. They can become potential partners or even potential clients. Then in the future we can maybe exchange our services. Who knows? And the last thing what I do is to follow the conference on LinkedIn, then interacting with the content of that specific conference, so that it gives me the visibility that I'm coming. And I also post about the conference where I'm tagging the specific event, and then I look up the followers and people who engage with that specific conference, so that I can build that authority. I will actually get a lot of audience in my, for example, keynotes, etc. So this is pre-conference workflow, what we do and how we run it on LinkedIn and beyond. Then during conference, I really like to be immersed in the real experience. I don't do a lot about my online visibility. I have my team who is posting behind me, so I can really like focus on strengthening the relations and partnerships, etc. And the only thing what I do is that I add people on LinkedIn and write them DM immediately. So let's say that I meet Thomas and I say, hey Thomas, can we like connect on LinkedIn? And he says yes. He types his name and I click on connect. Usually I want to send connection myself so that I can add this DM. And I write, hey Tom, it was really nice to meet you at this specific stand. I provide a bit of context and then I send a DM, and when he accepts, there is already this DM note, and the person, assistant or appointment setter can immediately pick up. He or she knows immediately like what was happening, where did we meet, if I actually met that person in person, and they can pick up with already warmed up person. So this is a bit hack what we are doing because it's really important that like then other people can just follow up on that. And then post-conference is also very easy, so you just follow up with all of these people. Either you have plugged in, for example, assistant or appointment setter, or you do it on your own. You set your meetings, you book a call with them, etc. If you're interested in this outreach and you don't want to train your own people or that you feel that you need help with these, we also provide done-for-you service. So we really make the personal brand for you from A to Z. We make the outreach for you, the commenting, the posting. We even will have a trained appointment setter for your specific audience and for you and your voice. And we have much better conversion rate than usual sales management companies because these guys, they just like actually want to get sales as much as possible. They are driven by commission, but they don't really train themselves on your voice and they don't really sustain their good relations because LinkedIn is not only about closing the deals, but it's also about, for example, finding interesting partnerships. It's also about, for example, getting yourself exposed to another market, expand your business, etc. And this is why it's important to have the agency like us to have your back at the end of the day and to support you so that you can focus on what matters the most. You can go to marieolivier.com to find more information, connect with me on LinkedIn, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you receive next tip on LinkedIn here. I am trying to be very consistent with all of these tips and also to merge it with our articles on the website. And when you connect with me on LinkedIn, write me that you're coming from this episode and I will send you a bonus of 10 secrets of LinkedIn that I'm usually sharing only with our clients. And I will see you next time. Bye.